Yo, what's going on? Everybody, it is 3 p.m. here in New Vienna, Iowa, in the Central Time Zone, July 15th, 2020. Today we're trying something new. I'm calling it What If Wednesday, and I think it'll be kind of a good conversation starter. We don't have to talk about it too if you guys don't want, but something to just throw out there. And I thought that it'd be kind of fun. I like the alliteration. I was looking for something to do on Wednesdays. We got Monday Mukbang Trivia Tuesday. Now we got What If Wednesday. And I was thinking that today, the what if could be, what if there were a such thing as U.S. marathon majors? So we're all familiar with the idea of like the world majors, like the 6 major marathons that are distributed around the world. What if the U.S. had a thing? And it's something that I've kind of talked about in other like videos or hinted at it, like when I talk about other marathons in the U.S. that I think are kind of like at that highest tier in terms of organization, prestige, number of competitive runners that go there, number of just runners in general that attend. So I thought maybe we could put together like a little bit of a list. I have mine. I'll let you guys think about yours now that I've put it out there. And in the meantime, let's say hi to everybody. We've got Tom A.K., Bert Leguess, Luis Cameron, Terrence Huey, Luis Becerra. You guys always come in at like the same time. It's amazing. Not really Hank Aaron, Chris Yao, what's going on, everybody? J. Mike Remy's here. Ed Bud, what's going on, Ed? We've got Stevie76, Ricardo Katagiri. Ed Bud said he's genuinely sad about the A6300. You know, I'm not sad. I mean, I'm still using it. We're looking at it right now. It's going to be kind of like the webcam camera for a while because that's kind of like the only thing it's like good for anymore. I might still use it for talking stuff if I have to be inside, but I'm thinking I prefer being outside. Here, the lighting is like kind of awkward, and so not my favorite. But I think that this A6300 will still get some use, but I am going to get something new. I don't think I'm going to get that R5. Not only is it really, really expensive, but I was looking at the cost of like the cards that go in it, and it takes, what's that other card that it takes? It takes SD cards and the other kind of media, and it's really expensive just for the media. So I'm like, I don't know, that's a lot of stuff. And then I'm like, it has so many features that I'm going to just not use and kind of set it in auto for most of the time that I'm like, I don't know. That might be more camera than I'm like, I could figure out that camera. No doubt about it. But do I want to, or will I use it? Like even for this camera, the Sony A6300, it has different log shooting capabilities, but because I'm kind of colorblind and I just don't like to bother dealing with color grading, I just shoot it in like a regular, like standard, like out of the box picture profile. So we'll see. The investigation continues. Martha's here, says hi everyone. Brendan Cam, MC1796, Pete G1980 says how's it going? Tony Amancia says must be lunchtime. I am hungry, but yeah, I didn't have enough time to get something to eat. Right before in the time that I normally get stuff to eat before this live stream, the UPS guy came and got a new toy for the dog, a little frisbee. I didn't bring enough toys for the dog, and I think he's been bored, understimulated, and so I got a frisbee for him. So we were playing frisbee. That's why I only barely got here on time. Brandon Kemp says, yeah, those CF Express cards are so expensive. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. All right, we got crackling going on here today. Let's turn this down. All right. Hopefully, move my phone further away. Maybe that's an issue too. All right. Steve says, hey everyone, just finished a curry. Happy now. Awesome. My mom's here. Tony Young is here. Okay. The crackling sound stopped a couple minutes ago. So, okay. Whoops. Well, I like where the levels are. All right. I would say, so here, sounds like phone data. It's weird. All right. So here are my picks for, I was thinking like, you know, the world majors is like a 6-star thing. I think 5-star sounds good for like if there were such thing as U.S. majors. And I could be convinced otherwise, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, I was also thinking about the calendar year too, but I think Houston should be one. The Indianapolis Monumental Marathon should be one because of the location and the time of year. I like it. CIM would be a third one. I think maybe Grandma's, and then like Marine Corps. Is that a good one? There needs to be another one in the East Coast, but like I don't want to use New York or Boston because those are already world majors. So, yeah, I don't know. So like those are kind of like what I'm thinking. Lewis Cameron says he likes also Big Sur. He likes Grandma's, Philly, Detroit, Peachtree, and Marine Corps. Yeah. The Detroit Marathon, though, that you run to Canada in that one, don't you? I think you do. And I think part of it, though, you run in like a bridge underground. And I'm just like, I'm not sure. Like my buddy and I were thinking about running that because we got a friend that lives in Detroit and we could go visit him / stay there. And then, yeah, but then it's just like running like in a tunnel underground just doesn't sound like great. Chris Yao says no love for Mammy. It's not that I don't have love for it, but like I feel like there could be I think there's a hole in that lineup in like the spring there's Houston in January, but I think the Miami Marathon is also around that time frame. But like if there's another one in like the spring, that would be good. JC's stopping by. Good to see you. Thank you for spending the time with us that you can. J. Mike Grimmy says MCM is dope. I've not run that one, but I've heard good and also bad things about it. I think there's like a giant, it ends uphill, right? Or something like that. I just heard it's really intense. So like, that's why I'm just not sure if that would be like one of my favorites. J. Mike Grimmy says LA for sure. I thought LA would be good because then you get then it's like Southern California. CIM could be drawing from like the Northwest. LA would get like the Southwest region. I thought that'd be good, but like I feel like that one, it's also in April, so maybe that's a good one. Flying Pig, that's a nice one. Glass City, Indy Monumental. How many do we have? I was thinking 5 stars, right? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Trent Wicker says you need to publish the marathon major suggestions. Yeah, maybe I'll make a list. We'll see like what the lists are here, and then maybe we'll make a video about it. Like I don't know how like you would even do that. Like I guess what you would need for those 5 marathons to like come together. I mean, this is like a level of planning way beyond what I like to do. I don't even like to plan a group run all that much. I'm really bad at that. That's a lot. That's like seems like a lot for me. But like you would need those marathons, which each of them are prestigious already, to be able to like pool resources in some sort of way to make like a series. But like you'd have to talk to all those race directors and all those like track clubs that are in charge of that. And then I don't know if there would be trademark issues by calling it a major. You might have to call it like the U.S. Marathon Series or something, so Shanna Scott says San Francisco. I've not run the San Francisco Marathon, but I'm wary of picking one that's really hilly because I don't like hills. So that's the thing. Brendan Cam says his local running store just called and his Clifton 7s are in. First time trying the Clifton lineup. Pretty excited to see how they perform. That sounds early, right? Are they out already? I didn't know they were out. Huh. Kevin Braden says, in the Belfast Marathon, they give you an additional 0.3 of a mile for free. That's funny. Ines Dunbar says, no idea what half of these races are. Every day is a school day. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, some, like, Glass City, that is, I don't know what Glass City is. Flying Pig, that's Cincinnati, right? Marine Corps is in Virginia, I want to say. That one's usually in October, I think. Edbert says, Mike, if you did the tunnel marathon again, what shoe would you use? Right now, I might use the Endorphin Pro. Because it's downhill, it'd give me the ability to load that shoe properly and really fly. So that's what I would use. Yeah. Music City. What's Music City? Is that like Nashville or something? FNHSCC says, anyone run Columbus? I don't know of anyone that's run the Columbus Marathon. Ross W says, if you were to run the Tunnel Marathon this weekend, you think you'd BQ again? I think so. I think I could be like 310 is my time, unless they've changed it. But 310 is my time, so I think I could do a 310 on that much downhill. It'd be close. It'd be real close. All right. Let's see. Ryan Luoma says, anything in the Midwest? Yeah, the Indy Monumental Marathon. That would be in Indianapolis. I feel like it's in November. The temperatures are usually pretty cool, if not cold. And then it's pretty central to everything. So at least geographically speaking, although it leans a little bit to the East Coast, but because it's east of the Mississippi. But yeah, I think that's one that would be on my list because a lot of people like to target that one. Let's see. Tom AK says the mic is cracking again. Oh man, sorry about that, everybody. Let me take a look at this quick. Maybe it's what's going down. Maybe I'll turn this down a little bit. All right. So sorry if you guys have to keep messing with your volumes. I'm trying to get it to work. Stevie76 says races that hosted Olympic trials. That would be cool. But I think here's the thing. Like the New York Olympic trials, for example, was a looped course that is different than the New York Marathon. The Atlanta Marathon trials is a course that's different than the Atlanta Marathon. So like that's what makes it like a little bit tricky. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right. Dave Belcher says his Hundo week is unfolding well. 65 miles in 4 days. I'm following your advice and eating like crazy. Awesome. That's a lot in 4 days. But I think that puts you on pace, right? Because then you got to do 35 in the last 3. That's good. You're right there. You're right there. Awesome. Edbud says, Mike, I'm certain the interference is a data type sound. My phone's all the way over there. There's no other. Oh, maybe there's that. I don't know. I don't know what it'd be. Maybe I got to get a different soundboard over here. I don't know. Yeah, I need to get better audio. All right. All right. Brent McCoy says, just got Boston Nines. What type of training / runs do you use them for? I like them for long, fast runs. So anything that's like tempo work or mile repeats or like a fartlek, something like that is where I would like it. Where the amount of work is going to either be a long extended time, like maybe you're doing a progressive run, starting out slower and then gradually speeding up, or you're doing like tempo intervals, like 3 times or 4 times 20 minutes, that kind of thing. That's where I would use it. Bert the guy says, welcome to the wonderful world of wireless technology. Less wires, more trouble. Yeah. Tom A.K. says, the audio is clear now. So, I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. I had this thing, which is a wireless hub. And I just had it sitting next to my soundboard. I don't know if that's what was doing it. I don't know. Joseph Horn says, is the running shoe market always this stacked? I feel like there have been so many shoes that either recently came out or are coming out soon that are really great. I don't know. I think that like I have become more aware of really what all is out there, but like all the shoes that I'm looking at that I like, it's like, Triumph 18, Ride 13, Pegasus 37, Beacon 3. I mean, there's always like, there's most of the times there's multiple versions of it in the past that maybe I just had no idea about. Kimbara 11, so they've been out there for a while, but some of them are new, brand new, like the Endorphin series. So I think that, I think that like 2019 was a great year for running. I mean, the last couple of years, I think that like them or not, the Vaporfly, I think, ignited like a new passion in the running shoe market. And so I think that it's been good for running everywhere on all levels. So I think that there's more now that's of interest. But, a lot of these have been around for a while. J. Mike Remy says, Vermont Marathon is also really nice. And you guys are going to get my racecation list. Ooh, cool. Lewis Cameron says, Phoenix Marathon is good for downhill BQing. Over 1,000 feet elevation drop. That is a marathon that I looked at. Was that the one that was short this year? No, or was it the half marathon that was short this year? I think that one was wasn't it? I think like a whole bunch of people ran it and it ended up being more than a couple feet short. Am I wrong? I think I might be wrong on that one. All right. Brendan Cam says, how did you like the Ride 13 today? It's a good shoe. It made me really happy. Today was a recovery run kind of day. I was going to do one loop around the neighborhood, which is a little bit more than 5 miles. I ended up doing 2 because I was having so much fun. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice. If you like the Ride, you're going to like the Ride 13. It feels a little bit heavy and big for a daily trainer. So like a lot of the new max cushion shoes are like cruising towards daily trainer. This is the daily trainer that's cruising a little bit towards the max cushion side. So like if you want a little bit more comfort, a little bit more protection, a little bit more durability, I feel like the Ride 13 is right there. It reminded me most of the Nimbus 22, which I was like, oh, this is different than other Asics that I've run in, and I like it. It's not like a fast, nimble shoe, but I feel like I can run a long time in it. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about the Ride 13. It was good. Sean Marshall says, no, it hasn't been this stacked because New Balance, Saucony, and Asics are all getting their stuff together at the same time. That's true. I mean, like, New Balance has been taken off with fuel cell. Saucony has been, just this year, like, hitting all sorts of home runs with their Power Run series shoes. And Asics, they're finally using less gel and more flight foam. So, like, there is a difference, that's for sure. And with Asics, all the ones that I like are like brand new shoes. Evo Ride, the Meta Racer, Nova Blast. Those are all first gen shoes. So they're having a good year, a real good year. Let's see. Where did that go? It was funny. Lewis M said, I'm late. Is this a happy hour Wednesday or am I drinking alone here? That's funny. I don't think you're alone, but I'm not today. I wish I had brought up a snack or some donuts. Oh, in the description for today's video, I did post a link to those almond butter balls. I don't know why I'm calling them almond butter balls because I looked at the link. My wife sent it to me, and the recipe calls them almond butter bites, which I feel like is a lot more nicer way of phrasing what the food product is. But almond butter balls, it just there's like the alliteration that I like. You guys know I like alliteration. Ed Bud's joining Lewis with the red wine, so that's cool. And Frank LaHoolier says, Olympic years might be better for shoes in general. That could definitely be it as well. Good point. Very good point. Sean Marshall ran out of beer yesterday. Oh, man. Sorry about that. J. Mike Remy says he ran Phoenix last year. It was beautiful for 20 miles before you get to the city. Maybe I need to do that one. I do like Phoenix. I don't want to go there now, but yeah. Brett Reed says, where's the ball recipe? I think it should be in the description of this video. I don't know if you can't see it while you're watching the live stream or if not. Like I put it in the description, so hopefully it's there. I meant to put it in yesterday's video description as well, but I forgot. Elo says, I'm brand loyal. I really don't want to wear Nike, even though I realize they make something special with the Vaporfly. Yeah. All right. I mean, I think that the Endorphin series is pretty good, either the Pro or the Speed. Between one of the two, I think a lot of people are going to find at least one of them that they really enjoy. That's kind of my favorite right out there right now. I do like the Fuel Cell TC as well from New Balance. That's a good one. So, well, I think that there are not like competitors. So it's not like iPhone killers, where like they match up toe to toe. But I think there are really solid alternatives out there. Luz M is drinking some wild turkey. Nice work. I was thinking that I might enjoy a beverage earlier in the day today because it's raining. Although, like, it's like the weather here is so weird. Either we get like out of nowhere torrential downpour. By the way, some of the cornfields here are permanently damaged from how strong the wind and rainstorms were the past couple of days. I ran by them. I couldn't really capture them very well on my cameras from the road. But when we were driving down to go mow the lawn at the house in Guttenberg, we saw that out there, and I went with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, and they were like shocked about how much damage some of these cornfields had taken on. So there's either storms like that, and they don't last very long because they're so powerful, they roll through real fast. And then there's like days like today where like the chance of rain is like 50% chance of rain or maybe thunderstorms. But for most of the day, it just looks like it's gloomy and not raining, or maybe about to rain. I don't know. The weather's been weird. Sody Mac said he started with the wine, but on the beer train now. Man, today is Wednesday, right? Man, you guys are hitting it up early. All right. Jody Run says, I got the 1080s yesterday and was able to walk in them. They feel soft and bouncy. I can't wait to try them out when stitches are removed. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a speedy recovery because I think you're going to like them. They're good shoes. Steve says, I ran a half last year that ended up being 11 miles. Last minute reroute due to a bomb scare. What? That's weird. Everyone was displeased. Whoa. That's crazy. Yeah. Tony Yu says, any food specialties in Iowa that you've tried since you've been there? I mean, I had the taco pizza. I think maybe the next Monday mukbang will have to be, do you guys know what walking tacos are? Walking tacos are big in here. I think they have them in Ohio too, and in certain places in the Midwest, in Indiana. I think there's a thing called walking tacos, but they are different in further east than they are in Iowa. And that's a very common like summer potluck type of food. So maybe we'll do that. I haven't had any yet. I'm gonna have to try to find, maybe I'll try to find a way to do them vegetarian because the main ingredient is ground beef with taco seasoning on it. But that is another local specialty. I mean, I don't know that it's an Iowa specialty or what. I remember a couple of years ago, I took the family to like one of those like farms in the suburbs of Chicago where you can go, there's a corn maze, like a bounce house, a whole bunch of bounce houses, and there's like food and concession stands that you could pick a pumpkin, that kind of thing. And they had walking tacos there, but they were more of like the Ohio, Indiana variety than they were of like the Iowa variety. Sean Marshall says, yes, we have walking tacos in Ohio. Dorito bag filled with taco meat. That's pretty much it. I've seen it, and I've only seen this in like recipes that come from Indiana and Ohio though, where instead of Doritos, it's Fritos. And that's how I've seen them in Illinois as well. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Yeah. Spence OMZ says Fritos is better than Dorito for walking tacos. I'm guessing that you've tried them in Indiana or Ohio, Spence. Is that right? That's my guess. Yeah. So to explain the walking taco, it is like, you know, those little bags, not like the big bags of Doritos, and not even like the bigger size bags that you get at like a gas station, the kid size bags, the real little ones that have like 5 chips in it. You take one, you turn it on its side. I don't know why you have to turn it on its side because those bags are like squares, but you turn it on its side, you crush up the chips, cut open the top, and then throw in taco things in it, and it's a walking taco. Why it's called a walking taco, I don't know. I feel like a regular taco is much better at walking around with, because then you also have to have a fork to eat this, and you shovel the food in your mouth, which that's part of the charm. I love that part about it. But that's what a walking taco is. So it's like usually like taco seasoning, ground beef, you put it in a big crock pot, like shredded iceberg lettuce, like shredded mild cheddar cheese, sour cream, and then taco sauce. Not salsa, not hot sauce, but taco sauce, kind of like on taco pizza. So that's a walking taco. I think we need a demonstration. You know, maybe I'll try to get from the grocery store. I don't know if the Hy-Vee carries it, but they make like the vegetarian crumble to put into like chilies and stuff. Maybe I'll do it with that. We could do that. I'll do that. And I got to get some Doritos. Joseph Horn says, this is awesome. The definition, where did it go? All right. Joseph Horn says, the definition of a walking taco caused a huge argument at my work with people from different parts of the country. Lots of division created that day. That is awesome. That's awesome. I love the regionality of food, and I think it's very quickly disappearing globally, but especially in the United States. But, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. Jazzy says the Beacon version 1 for mowing the lawn. That you don't slip around too much in that, because I don't think running around on like walking around on all the fresh foam might be slippery. Tony Massey says the hardest part of the Dopey challenge was waking up at 2 a.m. 4 days in a row. Disney starts so early. I'd like to do the Dopey challenge. That'd be a fun one, but I think that that wouldn't be good for majors. Because that is like a relay, like a multi-day running competition in and of itself. But I do want to do that someday. Martha says, this is sounding like barbecue debates, North Carolina versus Texas versus Tennessee. That's funny. Awesome. Stevie76 says, didn't you call the 2019 Shoe of the Year really early last year, the next percent? Which shoes this year are in the run-in for 2020 Shoe of the Year? I did call it like in April. I was like, there's not going to be a shoe that's better than the next percent. This year for me, it's in the running is the Endorphin Speed and the Hyperion Tempo. Those are like my two favorite shoes so far this year. I also really like the Boston 9. I think it's a little bit more exciting this year. It's a little bit like I feel like it's slimmed down a little bit. Like it's not longer, but like I felt like there was a lot of platform to it in the 8. It's slightly wider from the midfoot back. And it's a lot trimmer in that area now. That makes it feel a little bit more agile that I like. So those are like probably the top. Those are in there. I don't know what the top one's going to be. I'm not sure. I'm still hoping that I can get my hands on a pair of the Adios Pro. And then I'm also looking forward to, if it comes out this year, the Hyperion Elite 2. Because that's going to be on, I think it's going to be a version of the nitro foam that's in the Hyperion Tempo. But with a carbon fiber plate and a lot more foam in the Elite 2. I think that's like basically the formula. So that could be a surprise. I don't know when that'll come out, if it comes out. We'll see. Spence OMZ says, eat walking tacos at fairs and such in Nebraska. Yeah, it definitely is a fair food. Like, what's funny is that, like, my sister-in-law, my wife's oldest sister, was, like, it was maybe last summer. We were at our family reunion picnic, and she was like, oh, walking tacos. I've been eating so many walking tacos. I'm so sick of walking tacos. Every time I go somewhere this summer, there's walking tacos. And I'm like, you don't know how good you have it. Because it's just a fun food. It's a really fun food to eat. I mean, it's not the most culinarily sophisticated food, but it's a pleasure. I get it. I've seen it at like all the towns around here have like an annual summer picnic, or like kind of like a street fair, carnival kind of thing. And it's very common thought that the food vendors there will sell walking tacos. So yeah, you can eat a bunch of walking tacos every summer in Iowa, at state fairs, and lots of places, I think, in the Midwest. So I guess it's not that regional to Iowa, but I would consider it like a regional food. It's not something that you really get in Chicago. Yeah. Tom AK is talking about the Sony ZV-1 vlogging camera with the flippy screen for $749. I've looked at that one. That's a pretty good price. The only thing is, I don't think it's an interchangeable lens system. And so when I shoot earbuds and watches, and even for shoes, like I like to have the macro lens to get really close in on that. And that's where I feel like that camera would let me down a little bit. So that's the only reason why I'm not really looking at that. Brent McCoy says, when is the Rocket X dropping? I thought August. That's another shoe that I'm keenly interested in. Ed Bud, talking about my 3 shoes so far for this year, says those are in my top 3. It's a celebration of midsole wonderment this year. That's true. It's true. It has been. We were talking about earlier this year if the running shoe market's always is stacked. I was this excited for shoes last year too. I think there's a wider variety of really solid entrants this year. So maybe it has been a lot better, even though a lot of them are repeat players, but there's a lot of new players and new foams. So yeah. Trent Wicker says, so Hyperion Elite 2, would you be able to still run mileage on that? I would hope so. That's what I would think. But if they're like, I don't know who they're designing the Hyperion Elite for. I mean, they're designing it for like old school elites. So like if Des Linden is the one that they're designing it for, if she's the one that they designed like the Hyperion Elite version 1 for, and that's what, if she was like, this is how I like it, make it like this, then I don't think that most people are going to like the Hyperion Elite 2. But if they're making the Hyperion Elite 2 appeal to more of their Brooks elites, then maybe it is something that you can like race and train in, like a regular like racer, marathon racer. You know what I mean? We'll see. Trent Wicker says the Elite 1 is good for like 2 runs. I mean, it was weird that they were like this. I mean, here's the thing. Now I wish I had brought it with me. If the Hyperion Elite is that stiff and is only going to be good for like 25 to 50 miles, like 25 was like their original thing that they said, or maybe 50 miles was originally what they said, and then they went to 100. Like, then what does it feel? And it was super stiff. It's a super stiff foam, and I just think I'm not fast enough to really like get the benefit out of the shoe. What does it feel like when it's dead? I don't know. Anyway, Tony Macias says, are you going to grab a pair of the Alpha Flies or the Tempo NXT % at some point? I think probably not. That big zoom pocket thing just looks so weird. Kind of freaks me out. I'm not sure I like that. Brent McCoy said, a Brooks rep told me the Hyperion Elite 2 is supposed to be a racing version of the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. So if it is, then yeah, maybe that's something that will, I mean, that foam, like my understanding is the foams that are made like with that kind of like gas infusion are supposed to be super like long lasting. So not only within the course of 1 run, but in the course of multiple runs. So, maybe you can get a lot out of it. And if it's a racing version of the Tempo, that's got me very excited. I like that. Soon Clemenson says, have you ever had pain in your stomach muscles 3 days after a long run? Because at the moment, I can't run because of pain. Usually when I get something like that, it's I attribute it to not getting enough recovery nutrition done correctly. So I'll make sure, double check soon that you're getting your hydration right, getting enough salt and sugars back into your system. I mean, if it's been 3 days later, hopefully that's something that's resolved itself. And maybe you just have, maybe you were, I don't know, stomach cramps or stomach muscles feeling tight after 3 days. It doesn't sound right. Hopefully you didn't pull something. But usually like if I'm after a run, all of a sudden like my stomach feels like unsettled or kind of crampy, it usually means like my body is not right on terms of refueling. All right. J. Mike Remy says, never ran any of the rock and roll races, but New Orleans sounds like fun. That would be kind of fun. I'd like to run in New Orleans because then it'd be a fun like weekend trip. Because then you do the marathon and then you have a great like kind of convention city to be in. So that might be good. Rain Runner's here. Said, missed most of this, but glad I could join for the last bit. Awesome. Glad to have you here. Let's see. I Run on Beer says, I've never been sidelined by gut pain after a long run, but I've definitely had pretty sore abs if I haven't been doing enough core work. That could be it too. Thomas Korsness says, what length run do you decide to start bringing water on? I've been creeping above 10 miles, and I'm thinking I should start bringing water. That's usually when I start thinking about it. Today's run, I didn't bring any water, and I did have a gel with me just in case, and I was fine. I didn't use either. But today temperatures were low, but it was like 60s, mid 60s, but super humid. So like it was still very hot and I was sweating a lot. But I was also kind of getting rained on a little bit. It was misty out. So I didn't need water, but like for most of my runs that are like have been right now in the super hot heat of summer, or the hottest part of the summer, at least in this part of the country, I usually bring some water if I'm going over 10 miles. Yeah, J. Mike Remy says, hence the racecation co. Says race, then vacation. I like that. I'd really like, that's like a big reason why I want to do Berlin, because the Berlin Marathon is right around Oktoberfest, right? So then it's like, I don't normally eat meat, but, I'd have to enjoy some traditional Bavarian meats if I were there. That's what I would definitely do. Chris Yao says, I don't think I could run in a place like New Orleans and still stay focused on the run. Would have to be a fun run trip. No, that's not a bad idea either. Ryan Luoma says, I sometimes get soreness at the front of my hips pelvis, which I'm fairly certain is an overuse soreness due to weak hips. That could be. Do you do anything for them, Ryan? Or is it just something that appears from time to time? I Run on Beer says, the Rock and Roll New Orleans course has tons of people handing out free beer, shots, and food along the course as well. It's awesome. I mean, that sounds like a fun run. Oh, maybe that'll be like the funnest races. Maybe next week we'll do that. Jody Run says, I had stomach pain after New York City. After flying back to Australia the next day, I went to doctors and it was appendicitis. Oh man. Good thing that it didn't like really start rearing its head on the flight. That's like a fear of mine, that I would have some sort of medical emergency at like 13,000 feet or however high planes fly. Rain Runner says, anyone enjoy doing virtual races? Considering one, but not sure I really want to spend $45 to run on my own. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the virtual like races. I'm doing the Grit Summer Challenge, which I do like that because it's like, over multiple days you're tracking the running, and I think that's kind of fun. But like I'm not doing like the Boston Marathon virtual edition. I think that Chicago Marathon's going to have a virtual edition too. Probably not going to do that. But one thing that I will say is, if there is a race that's a smaller race that you want to support and make sure that the race comes back next year, then I would consider doing like a virtual race. But I mean, I don't know. Otherwise, I have a hard time kind of like getting excited about virtual racing. But I also think that there's a lot of people that are new to running, given everything that's been going on. They couldn't go to gyms, couldn't do their normal workouts, and now they're trying running. I think those people should definitely do virtual races. Just have at least a taste of that experience, because it gives you like the culmination of all the hard work. It gives you like, it's like a nice punctuation on all the work you've been doing. Philip Style says, how hard was it to train your stomach on big runs, aka pooping? I've had a lot of training, I guess we could say, on that. I was running into a lot of issues early on, like during the pandemic, because my schedule shifted where I was running for run commuting. So I'd drop off my kids and then run to work. But by the time I had done that, I had already like gotten up early in the morning, done like some work, done some YouTube video editing stuff, and I'm just drinking coffee, eating, and I'm up. I take care of all that already. Then once like the pandemic hit, I wanted to run really early before like anyone in the city woke up. And so I was basically like waking up and going for a run, and my body took a little bit of time to adjust to that. And so for a while I was running very small loops around the house. So that way when I did have a bathroom emergency, I could go, because also everything was closed. Starbucks were closed, grocery stores were closed. Everything was like closed, especially at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I couldn't go anywhere to relieve myself. So like that took a while to get used to. But I remember once I switched to doing most of my running in the morning, my body relatively quickly though got used to the idea of, all right, we woke up, we're going to have some coffee, we're going to poop, and then we're going to go run. And it kind of got used to that rhythm. So like, I think consistency helps out a lot in that regard. All right, let's do one more. Luis Becerra says, discussions before you judge. Walk a mile in his shoes. After that, who cares? He's a mile away, and you've got his shoes. Very funny. Frank Hillier says, why would you have Bavarian meat in Berlin? I know that's far away, but like, if I'm all the way in Germany, I want to have a lot of the different German traditional foods. So Bavarian ham, all the different schnitzels and wursts, regardless of where they're from. That's things that I would like to enjoy. All right, one more. Let's see. Where'd it go? I thought I saw one I liked. Lewis Cameron says, and then we'll end on this one. This is a good one. Thoughts on people that race in costume or themed outfits? I'm a big fan. I've done it myself many times. I've done a half marathon as a stormtrooper. I do costumed runs just on my own for fun. I've run as Santa Claus. I did a separate run as the stormtrooper. I was gonna do one as Darth Vader, but my wife didn't like the idea. She thought it was too scary. I was gonna do it like really early on a Saturday morning, and she was like, you're gonna get hurt doing that. So that got nixed. I would love to do a race as one of those blow up dinosaurs. I think that'd be kind of fun. Yuki Kawauchi did a half marathon. I think he won a half marathon in a panda suit one time. So I think that's fun. I'm a big fan of it. Like I've said yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago. I mean, running at tracks like a weird crowd. So I feel like we should embrace the weirdness, especially long distance runners. There's just so many miles. You get goofy out there. So I love it. I like costumes. My first marathon, my goal I ran the Baltimore running festival in 2010. I didn't succeed, but one of my major goals was to not get beat by the dude running in a Dunkin' Donuts cup costume. I kept up with him for a good handful of miles, but he beat me. So, I mean, I'm a big fan. I love the idea. I love being goofy on the run. I mean, I'm a guy that runs around with a selfie stick, so weird running kind of makes sense for me. Anyway, all right. I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I'm getting hungry. I need a snack anyway. But I had a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys thought about What If Wednesday. Put them in the comments, or let me know. I'll keep reading. If we should do this again next time, I'll come up with something else, that we can what if. Otherwise, we'll figure out something else to do on Wednesdays, or we'll just have regular just Wednesdays or Wednesdays. Tomorrow's video is going to be about the Ride 13, although I pretty much gave you all my thoughts. I was more succinct in describing the Ride 13 here than I'll be in the video. So I guess maybe you already got what you need. But that'll be the video for tomorrow, and then it'll be happy hour. I think I might try and make a trip down to the local brewery and pick up a growler, see what else I can get from the local brewery here. And we'll do that. Hope you guys will join me. All right. Stay safe out there, everybody, on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.